Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Abdul Rahim from Boys Higher Secondary School, Tarthpora. Dear students, today our topic is colonial exploitation of Indian economy during the British rule. That lecture is for economics for 11th class. Dear students, as we know, the British who joined India in the shape of East India Company, what they did that we have we are discussing since from last 2 days, and today I will describe here. I will try to explain some points which highlights the fact how Indian economy was exploited during the British rule. Dear students, number one, which is here, that is India was treated as a colony supplying raw material. As you know that the industrial revolution first was in England or in British, so the surplus product, industrial product of this England, after consumption of the after domestic use, the surplus production, they found that what to do. They made India as colony as for supplying of raw material which helps, which are the main for the final products. So dear students, British during their political rule over India for nearly 200 years treated India as a colony supplying raw material to the British industry. 18th century saw the spread of industrial revolution in Britain, for which a continuous and cheap source of raw material was essential. The British exploited the Indian economy to the extent they could in this regard. Number two is India was used as market for the British products. India was used as a market for the British products. It was with a view of separating their market in India that the British government planned and introduced the railway network in China. Number three, a destructive approach towards the Indian handicrafts. Prior to the British rule, Indian handicrafts enjoyed the worldwide reputation of being quality products. Through discriminatory trip policy, the British government successfully destroyed the demand that the Indian produce enjoyed in the domestic as well as international market. Number four, exploitative land revenue policy. Permanent Zimindar system deserves a special mention in the regard. The British government entered into a permanent settlement of land revenue with the Zimindars, giving them the authority to extract as much from the farmer. Consequently, the farmers were exploited to limits beyond imagination. Permanent farming rights were thrown into the wind. The cultivators were frequently ejected and often reduced to the states of landless laborers. Number fifth is deliberate neglect of infrastructure. Infrastructure refers to the commonly used utilities or services such as of transport, communication, power, and other means of energy. The British had no interest in the development of these services as these required heavy investment. Means of transport were, were developed only to meet the limit interest of the widening the size of market for the British products as already started. And number six is high cost administrative large scale remittance. The British government inflicted upon the Indian economy a very high cost of administration. It also made huge remittances to England in the form of the savings and surplus from their business ventures in India, as well as an account of Afghan War 1880 and Burma's War 1885. Thus, dear students, now it is concluded that owing largely to the exploitation British rule in India, we inherited an economy which was stagnant, backward, and colonial in nature. The bulk of the population was staggering with poverty and dependent on agriculture. Agriculture was more like a means of subsistence and less like a commercial activity. There was a little negligible industrialization and almost a complete lack of infrastructural facilities for future growth and development. In short, the social and economic challenges before the country were numerous at the time of independence. Now, I hope, my dear students, now it will be clear to you, and the next lesson, next this lecture, I will deliver inshallah tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.